perhaps a slightly speculative question, but do you not think that in general there needs to be far more consistency when it comes to human rights? And I suppose, Francesca, the question might be, are the human rights of a Ukrainian as important as a Palestinian's human rights and vice versa?
Good.
Okay, first of all, let me not respond on the speculation because of one reason. Here, we cannot talk about the current reality in the occupied Palestinian territory as if it was any state. My mandate doesn't cover the situation in Israel, for example, or how Palestinians with Israeli citizenship are treated. It's very relevant, it's very important, but here we are not talking of a state and how it treats its own citizens. Here, we are talking of an occupying power who's been there for 55 years, occupying really beyond and outside the perimeter of what is permitted by international law and other people. And in fact, I argue that the occupation is engineered to prevent the right of self-determination, for the Palestinian to exist as a people, socially, culturally, politically, economically, did I say culturally? And so this is, again, we cannot discuss this as the violations that take place as violations that can be addressed by a state. I mean, we need to address the legality of the occupation. So there are many states doing awful things, having an awful human rights performance within their own borders, and against citizens and non-citizens. And this deserves the same scrutiny. So all human beings in the world, Ukrainian, Qatari, non-Qatari in Qatar, and others, should have the same rights. When it comes to the Palestinians the Palestinians in the OPT needs to be liberated from an occupation that has no legitimacy. For me, this is very important because I don't want because there is this tendency to justify anything Israel does, forgetting and then to an extent condoning the occupation. We need to challenge the occupation. There is no reason for Israel to maintain boots on the ground in the West Bank, and to treat Jerusalem in its entirety as if it were its own territory, and meanwhile blockading, keeping under siege 2 million people in Gaza. This is something that we all need to address.